Professor Madani, welcome to the program. Before I get to talk to you about what has happened in Spain, can you perhaps explain to us and our audience the connection between climate change and extreme weather patterns we've been seeing around the world?
It's climate change. I think it's to simply put it, with climate change, we see more and more extremes, record-breaking events around the world coming one after another. They become more frequent and they become stronger. So they set a new and like a lot of unprecedented events and some essentially catastrophes that we are not prepared for, as you're noticing around the world.
Is this the new normal, Professor Madani? I mean, we've seen extreme weather patterns, monsoon rains, flash floods, hurricanes are now starting a lot earlier, lasting longer, they tend to be more intense. Then we also have record-breaking heat in the summer. Here today in Washington, D.C., we're almost in November and it's supposed to reach 80 degrees.
It is sad. Like these changes might sometimes even be pleasant. We're in Canada. In Canada, in some places, the heat is making the weather more pleasant. But these are scary moments because everything has been planned based on the historical weather patterns and climatic situations that we were used to and we had understood. Now our infrastructure is not ready to deal with this new normal, the situation that has changed not only as a result of climate change, which is a global thing, but as a result of also a little bit of natural changes. Nature is changing itself as well, and its dominant rules. But also the things that are happening at the local scale, the way we have managed lands, the way we have built our cities, and so on. So yes, it is a new normal, or at least say it is a situation that modern humans have not experienced and are not ready to deal with.
Professor, the images out of Spain, especially Valencia, are just jaw-dropping and absolutely catastrophic. Would the damage and the destruction we've seen be this bad if the area had more climate-resilient infrastructure, going back to what you said about infrastructure?
So, of course, the answer is clear that some of these could have been avoided by better infrastructure and better planning. There are a few things to consider here. At the global scale, we have climate change. So we see these events and we need to take climate action to essentially mitigate them and avoid them and also adapt to them. For adaptation, there are certain things to be done. One is to revisit the status of infrastructure, make sure that they're adequate, revisit the building codes, understand where we have built properties, where we have placed people, and so on. But also, let's not forget that we need to also be ready for emergency management, evacuation, early warnings, and so on. So these are actions at different levels, and they require different stakeholders, and they have to coordinate actions to avoid a situation like this. I'm afraid, we are now expecting something even worse to come in that part of the world, and the country is, Spain is not ready for it.
Professor Madani, there is no country that really is not experienced the drastic effects of climate change. And yet, do you feel with so many wars and conflicts going on around the world, is there enough focus or attention being put on this issue that's affecting millions of people around the world?
I wish I could be more positive. I think at a time of war, when people are being killed in front of our eyes, the world doesn't have the bandwidth, or at least the seriousness, to think about the current generation, let alone even. And of course, if we don't care about the humans and children around us today, we won't care about future generations. I hope these disasters, despite how bitter they are and the innocent lives they take, at least act as eye-opening. And we understand that we only have a limited opportunity and window of opportunity to take action and avoid more catastrophic things in the future. Yes, this climate is much of a bigger threat to humanity than many other things that humans and countries are fighting over.
And as you know, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, one of them is climate action to address the crisis and its effect by 2030, to limit global temperature rise to well below 20 degrees Celsius. Is this becoming literally impossible at this point, Professor Madani?
It is, unless we take serious actions. Right, this year, 2024, is special. It's we have seen the dark side of humanity in killings and wars, but there is also a positive side for the environmentalists to remember. This year, the world is hosting 3 conference of parties, one in biodiversity happening right now in Colombia, one on climate change happening in Baku next month, and one on combating desertification in December in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. These 3 events are the world's moments and opportunity for the global leaders to take a serious action on climate. Unfortunately, as you said, things at this point seem impossible, and the targets are far from reaching.
All right, we'll leave it there. Professor Kaveh Madani joining us from Canada. Thank you.